What's up, guys? Ray's Gameplays here. Welcome to Build Play. This is going to be the ASARI ADEPT Lance spamming build. This chick needs no introduction. She has quickly become the star of Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. I mean, and there's so many awesome ways to play her, but I've had, I think, probably the most fun and put out the most damage with the Lance spamming build that I put together. Now, to use this, the whole concept is that Lance is going to be draining your shield. But in return, you basically have as many Lances as your shield can permit. So, and with Annihilation non-stop priming and Lance detonating, it's going to be insanity. So, we're going to keep 1 point in throw because it is good detonator. And, first of all, the game makes us. But that doesn't mean it's bad. You should be using this a lot, guys. You'll notice the difference between an enemy that's been detonated with throw and an enemy that's detonated with lance. We'll discuss it more in the gameplay, but basically lance is better. And the recharge on throw is going to be a lot longer. Annihilation, we're going to pick up radius. This is awesome. You don't really need this. This would be good, but we're using throw very sparingly, and if you are doing a throw build, you might want to consider this. But I think affecting as many enemies as possible is definitely the best way to go Annihilation on pretty much every build. So getting into damage tractor, this is really good because they're going to get 20% more damage to anything inside that radius, and we just made that radius bigger, so you're basically debuffing everybody that's really close to you. Not even really close to you, I'm medium close to you. Then we're going to get shields restored. This is awesome because when you kill an enemy, now this is the big difference between this character from Mass Effect 3 that used Annihilation Field and characters in this game that use Annihilation. Think about it, guys. In Mass Effect 3, you just have to drain the enemy's shield or barrier to get your shield or barrier back. In this game, you actually have to kill the enemy. So anything that dies in your massive Annihilation Field radius, that's going to restore your shield by 30%. And it also does it to your allies. I mean, this character is all kinds of awesome. She's got debuff potential. She's got survivability potential. Healing potential, high damage potential, high combo potential, high weapon potential. She can do it all. So she's really, really good. Lance, we're going to pick up damage and force. Now, radius, you can make an argument for this, but I'm going to tell you flat out. Basically, with Annihilation, if you're not getting a kill, you're not getting your shield back. So when you're using Lance, you're taking away your shield and you're, draining your defense, but you will get your defense back if you kill an enemy. So it's going to be all about making this hit as hard as possible. So we make sure when we make the choice to use up a Lance and use up some of our barrier, we're going to get a kill or get very close to a kill. So damage and force all the way because you're going to hit one target harder. Headshot, weak point versus shield. Okay, if you play against Outlaw, like exclusively, and I know there's a ton of players on this game that only want to play against Outlaw, this is the downright obvious choice because there's like only the sniper guy. And I've played with both. I've played with shields and I play with headshot. And basically, you're only going to take down that guy's shield. Either way, it doesn't matter. The sniper guy on Outlaw's team, if you use this, you'll still just pretty much drop a shield, and if you use this, you'll still just pretty much drop a shield. You see what I'm saying? There's no point. Everyone else is not going to even have a shield, so what does it fucking matter? Except for the Angara guy, who rarely has it. So headshots is going to be excellent. Now, if you play against Ket a lot, you may want to consider this, because that is such a lunatic enemy to play against that you're not going to have time to sit there and aim for the head. Now, if you get very good, then this is going to be the best option no matter what the enemy is. If you're good at aiming for weak points, this is obviously going to be good. But what I'm going to say is it is hard to do that because you're running and gunning and it's a very chaotic playstyle. Not a whole lot of time to aim. But if you get good at it, this is definitely the better choice. Finally, we're going to pick up shield cost, and I really do prefer this, to be honest. And in here, we're going to go for shield cost. This is Lance has no recharge time but consumes a shield when used. So, that's the whole bread and butter, right? That's the synergy between Annihilation and Lance. Pretty obvious. You're getting your shield back with a kill with Annihilation, and you're draining your shield with Lance. But you're not getting a recharge time. So that is good. And remember, Annihilation reduces your recharge time by 60%, so that kind of blows. That's why this is so good. Offensive biotics, we're going to pick up power damage, power force. You could go for recharge, but again, this is a Lance build, so we don't need it. We're just spamming Lance. It goes off our shield. Your throw would have a faster cooldown. Who gives a fuck, right? You'd rather make sure that Lance hits as hard as possible, because again, if you're going to use it, you're going to lose shield, you better be getting a kill, or close to a kill. Exposure, now this is highly debatable, guys. But I will say pretty much I prefer exposure over combo damage and combo radius because if I'm playing with good people or even if I'm playing with bad people, This is going to help me get my shield back more often if the enemies in my annihilation are easier for my teammates to kill. And remember, this is 30% combo damage, so basically you're getting 20% combo damage here, because defense, debuff from biotic effects 20%, so all sources. So if you do a combo and they're in your thing, it'll be doing a 20% more damage. So you're only missing out on 10% damage. What you're really missing out on is the radius. But what I will say is, this turns your Hurricane into it, or whatever gun you choose, but I'm going to highly recommend the Hurricane. It turns whatever gun you're using into an absolute killing machine. 40% more damage if you count the Annihilation debuff and this debuff. So that is great, because we can get a kill with our gun without using Lance up. 9 times out of 10, you'll come across an enemy, and they'll be so far from the other enemies that it's like, it doesn't even matter. You don't even want to do a body combo, because you're going to drain a little bit of your shield, and you'll get the combo, and the guy will still be left alive. So you want to, a lot of times, you'll see in this in my gameplays, and when I play this character, I'm going to highly recommend use your gun a lot. You don't have to just be spamming Lance. If you're spamming Lance, you're losing your shield. You're getting a combo, but a combo is not always needed. That's the point. There are many occasions when it's best to just kill the enemy with your gun or do a lot of damage with your gun. So this is going to help your gun, it's going to help your power damage, and it's going to help your combo damage, whereas this is only going to help your combo damage. I do like that radius, and I'm sad to miss out on that, but 30% isn't that big. The other great thing about this is this would boost your combos with if you're using an elemental ammo or something like that, which I do recommend. So that is also good. Up in the air, it's going to be up to you, but if you're rolling with good teammates, I think defense debuff is way better because they're going to help you get your shield back faster. And it helps the whole team out, whereas this is kind of, it's good, but, combos are already kind of weak in this game, so I prefer this. Now, on Biotic Expert, this is really kind of the awesome. Now, I know a lot of people love playing with Chick Melee, and I do too, but this is really a fun build, and this is the way that I'd recommend you do this if you want to just decimate with Lance and Biotic Explosions nonstop. So, again, we're trying to make Lance do as much damage as possible, so we're going to pick up Biotic Damage Force. Really, really good, 30%. Barrier, we're going to pick up Max Shields. This is good, and, this chick is really dependent on her shields. Again, think of her shields as her lifeblood. It's so important. So having more shields is going to be awesome. You're going to stay alive longer, and you're going to have more lances at your disposal. So, yeah, this is kind of not worth it. Now, especially because you're getting your shield back when you kill an enemy. Biotic Link, this is really good. Max shields with an active biotic effect, 40%. So if you walk up to the enemies and you don't have shields, you get your little bit of shields back. It's really good. This is obviously the evolution that makes melee builds ridiculous, but... And the final evolution, which is just beyond godly, because if you're, this is like where it's like just almost getting ridiculous with this character, because if you lose your shield, if you lose your shield and your health goes below 20%, or it hits 25%, when you reach that low health threshold, you're gonna get 100% of your shield back. I mean, that is insane. It's like the game is literally sitting there saying, oh, you're about to die. Oh, it's cool, bro. Here, you have your whole shield back. It's ridiculous. It's so good. And then you have suddenly a shitload of lances at your disposal because of that. So she's extremely survivable when you take all of this into account. This is just not worth it over this, guys. 10% versus 100%. I mean, you do the math. And this is every 10 seconds. So how often is it? This, you could, obviously, this would be godly if you could do it nonstop. But 10 seconds is pretty much as often as you will need it if you're playing effectively. This is really for those shitty scenarios. Otherwise, you should be micromanaging it to the point that you don't reach this low health threshold. You don't reach this low health threshold that much, but really good, guys. So that's the Lance spamming build. Let's get into the gear I recommend. Adaptive Warm-Up is great. Jug Shield is great. If you have that ammo pack, that is also fucking phenomenal. I didn't buy it. I really wish I did. This is great too because you're going to have more pistol damage, but I'm going to recommend the Adaptive Warm-Up. That's what I'm going to be running. All of them, you can make a good argument for all of them, guys. I think definitely that that ammo could be very good as well, especially if you're going to use the Hurricane, which is the gun I'm going to recommend, guys. If you have the Hurricane, use it. But in general, any high fire rate gun, I've seen a lot of people get away with using the Charger. I use the Talon for the longest time. I don't recommend it if you want to use elemental ammo. If you want to just have a good gun that's going to hit hard up close, this is a great choice. But if you want to be able to prime them effectively, you need a high fire rate gun. Think Revenant, Hurricane, so many high fire. Equalizer is a great choice. There's lots to pick, guys. Just think high fire rate. I'm going to be running capacity, and let me see what I'm putting on here. I would pick magazine, and I would pick the scope. I don't know why this is on here. I definitely pick the scope. Just because if you're using ammo, you can prime the enemies from far with like your disrupt rounds and detonate with throw and lance, which is effective. You could even go melee. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is the magazine, because 71%, you cannot skip out on that. Okay, equipment. Now, there's ammo is so precious in this game. You know, it's so good. So disruptor rounds are going to be great for crowd control to keep you alive. That's going to be an awesome choice in gameplay. I'm using crowd rounds because I didn't have any disruptors left, but disruptors are definitely the best choice, guys. Incendiaries are the best choice against Outlaw. Disruptors are the best choice if you're going unknown, because Ket, you will fuck up Ket with Disruptor. Remnant, you will fuck up Remnant with Disruptor. So, yeah, Cryo is just kind of, it's iffy. It's alright, but honestly, Incendiary will absolutely destroy the Outlaws, and Disruptor will absolutely destroy the Ket Remnant. But again, I play with Cryo, and it doesn't even fucking matter, because she's so good on her own. She's not a character that needs a lot of gear to become good. I'm also going to recommend a Cyclonic, guys. Cyclonic is going to help you out a lot, just to be able to get into those situations. So, yeah, that's a great choice. But you could pick a lot of things, guys. Power Amplifier, pistol damage, you know, whatever gun you're using damage, cyclonics, all kinds of ammo types. There are a lot of choices with this chick, so pick what you like, but I'm going to recommend cyclonic and some sort of ammo. Okay, guys, I think that's just about everything I need to say. Now, I will give you some recommendations if you were someone that wanted to do kind of a throw build that's more conservative. It's not going to be as insane as this, and I may do a build at some point, but basically you'll max throw out to radius, recharge speed, and combo detonation and recharge speed. So this is going to be a more conservative way to play, but remember, Annihilation is going to be slowing down your power recharge by 60%, and it's already so high in this game. It's going to really kind of suck, and you will only have 1 point lance then. And on offensive biotics, you'd max out recharge speed, combo damage, combo rate. Well, you could. This is still debatable, but you know, recharge speed for sure. And then still pick this up. If you wanted to run something like a melee build, obviously you have to pick this up. This is going to be so godly. You know, I would still go for this, honestly, over this probably. But let's see, you know. The thing that makes the melee build work is this evolution right here. So if you're trying to do melee, this is the perk for you. And if I was doing melee, you know, you could do throw or lance with melee, but I think throw is probably better because it's going to keep you alive more. Anyways, guys, that's the options you have with this character. I'll probably come out with the melee and a throw build at some point, but I just want to get the lance build out because this is the most fun and the most fucking insane. Alright, guys, we'll get into the gameplay. Alright, guys, getting into the gameplay. This is going to be pretty goddamn insane just how good this character is, but one thing I will say is the ASARI Adept, while she is an absolute powerhouse on her own and she can just decimate everything, she really benefits from team support, and so does every character in this game, no dub, but she is really going to take the team support and really highlight it. So there are a couple ways you can. The thing about the ASARI Adept is it's pretty self-explanatory what you're doing. You're running around with this non-stop biotic combo field, and you have powers that detonate them. And you have, not only does the combo field weaken the enemies, it gives you your shield back. So I mean, that's all pretty much basic math, guys. You're going to be taking your time to play with her, to feel her out, and see how you like to play her, and how far you like to go with that setup. And what the nuances are going to be for you. You know, how much of my gun do I want to use to be effective? And you're all going to have different guns. How much of my lance do I want to use? What situations? The key word with this character is situation, because there is not a one-size-fits-all reaction to every situation, because you got to have spatial awareness. How many enemies are up? How many enemies are down? Where are the enemies? How tough are these enemies? Should I be wasting a lance right now? Should I just be using my gun? Should I use a throw right now? These are all the things that I'm going to point on this gameplay. I'm going to try and teach as much as possible, but remember, a large part of it is just going to getting your hands dirty and playing with the character a lot. So, and the good news is there is a high reward for mastering this character, and it doesn't take much to master. So that's the thing about the ASARI Adept. Now, what did I want to... So basically, yeah, team support is very helpful with this character. Think about it, guys. If you have a field around you that's not only giving your teammates their shield back, but it's debuffing all the enemies, the better your teammates are, the better you're going to be doing. Because if you can get your shield back and you can get your combos detonated by your teammates, that's obviously amazing. You can tell automatically when you have a character that a pug or any Mass Effect Andromeda player that knows what they're doing A very easy way to see that is you'll see them following the ASARI Adept's ass. Not because they're checking out her ass, but because they want to get non-stop health back, and they want, not health, shields, and they want to get a big debuff for their abilities, weapons, and powers. So I highly recommend you do that. Now what we're trying to do right over here is we were trying to test if the annihilation stacks. This is going to add a bit of time to the video, but I think we wanted to figure out if we have two ASARI Adepts and we both have not, we have to wait for the shield to come back. Because basically, if it's just you and you run up to a sharpshooter and you lance and you get a combo off, it's just going to drain the shield. That's what it's going to do to that sharpshooter. So we wanted to see, will two annihilations make it lose way more? And I guess it didn't. You see how it happened right there? It should, like, because I don't know if that's something to do with the shield gate or what's going on there, or if the debuff is not stacking. I don't know. Someone let me know in the comments. I'm very interested in figuring that out. Does Annihilation Field debuff stack? Because if it does, then, I mean, you're talking, like, insanely broken. But yeah, guys, that test wasn't very definitive. We should have had a shotgun. It would have been a better test. Or like a pistol. You know, we all had high fire rate guns. There wasn't a lot of way to tell. We were also trying to get this vid recorded, so there wasn't a lot of time to sit there and test. But as you can see, it's an absolute onslaught. We're just running around the map killing shit. What's it called? My boy Under a Dying Sun, I believe he's going to be playing as the Solarian Operator, which is a really awesome character because he's going to get debuff with Invasion and he's going to have shield boost, so that's like right up there with the top tier classes, top tier classes in general, but classes that synergize well with the ASARI Adept, because he can give you your shield back, and he can debuff the enemies for you, and he can detonate for you with overload. So he's like, that Solarian is really like on another level. And the other, Derek is going to be playing as another ASARI Adept, which is, you can never have too many ASARI Adepts. It's awesome. Just the shield restoration, the debuff, the the non-stop priming, just a really solid class, guys. And finally, my boy Game Over, he's going to be playing as the, I want to say that, yeah, he's going to be playing as the base human engineer, which I love when he plays that character because the cryo is such an amazing debuff, guys, and he also gets overloads. So that's another good detonator. So yeah, it's a really phenomenal character. And we're going to be running around. The thing about it, Mass Effect hasn't changed much, guys, as far as the core principles are concerned. From Mass Effect 3 to this game, running with the teammates is always going to be best. Soloing, running around by yourself will often get you a slower time, will get you, you'll go down more, you won't put out as much damage, because all these characters are meant to synergize very well with each other. So I think oftentimes people think that, and don't get me wrong, I do a lot of camping and farming when I'm trying to level up my characters and I'm just trying to get money fast, but a lot of people get the false impression that you do very well when you camp and farm as far as killing the enemies fast because you're holding down one location. It's not, it's what in my opinion, the fact that you're all standing together in a group and synergizing together, see, holding down one location forces the team to work together in unison with abilities and, that kind of thing. So that's one of the biggest edges of camping or holding down one spot. So that it's kind of boring to camp or hold down one spot, and sometimes you have to because of objectives. But that is a big edge you get when you do that, because your teammates are forced to stand next to each other. Now, what happens when you run around as a team together? Well, you have the option to get out of shitty situations, relocate, in addition to having the support of your whole team. You see what I'm saying? My point is basically that it doesn't matter if you're standing in one location or running all over the map. As long as you're all hanging out close to each other and working together, you're going to have a much faster game. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing, guys. If you're sitting there and farming for countless hours, which you will probably be doing in this game a lot, then it does get, I would mix it up, because it gets boring to sit in one spot, but it is also less, mental energy consumed if you're just kind of sticking to the same strategy. So that is kind of nice for just playing long hours into the night. But in addition, it does get boring doing that. So you want to, sometimes if you want to run around and mix it up, then it's very easy to do that. You just kind of got to work as a team. And once everybody has max level weapons and really knows what they're doing, everyone's going to be running around Ramboing just like they do in Mass Effect 3 multiplayer to this day. Everyone kind of does their own thing for the most part. What else to say? Yeah, I mean, guys, if you have... Oh, this is going to be insane. I'm just going to shut up and let you enjoy this part right here. Bunched up enemies are the most ridiculous. I mean, if you get bunched up enemies like this, it's almost sad how fast you can just fuck over this game. Just look at that, guys. Absolute insanity. And if you are into, you know, kind of team synergy and that kind of thing, I don't want to talk too much about it because this is a video about the ASARI ADEPT, but stay tuned because I have so many great recorded gameplays of team play, putting together cool little teams that work well together. I just got to commentate them. I already got one ready to go, but you know, that'll be uploaded soon. That's the kind of thing I want to show you guys. Once I'm done getting all the build videos out, I want to teach you guys how to play very effectively in different team combos. Some of it's going to be because it's like, because of it's just fun to run with a certain group of teammates. Some of it's going to be like, hey, this is an awesome way to play this game. You know what I mean? Some are going to be for efficiency, some are going to be for fun, but I'm going to make a ton of those videos. They're going to be very fun to watch. So yeah, anyways, getting back into the ASARI ADEPT, guys, make sure that you're not just spamming the shit out of Lance. That's not your only way to kill enemies. You have a gun and you have an annihilation field that's giving you either a 20 or 40% debuff. And the good news is that your gun isn't going to, drain your shield when you shoot it. So use the Lance when you have the big groups of enemies for the most part. That's when you're really using it, or if you just want to like drop half of an enemy's health. You know what I mean? But basically, combos are meant to be, most effective against groups of enemies. I mean, pretty common sense, because that's when you're spreading the damage. Your gun can only shoot at one enemy at a time, but a combo can hit everybody in a radius. So keep that in mind when you're playing, guys. There's no need to waste a lance and waste your shield in many scenarios. Oftentimes, it is very good to just kill the enemy with your fucking ridiculous weapon. And I know that it's going to be tough in this game to get a good weapon. I was pretty lucky. I'm so happy that I got the Hurricane fairly early on. I got to level 2. Because this gun is quickly becoming the answer to many of these characters. It's so good on so many different characters. As far as priming ammo and just doing a ton of damage, the only thing I'm bitching about is the ammo. But if I would have bought that equipment, that wouldn't even that wouldn't have been an issue on the gun. Here, the enemies are going to flank us. Anytime the enemies flank you, you'll start to be fighting enemies in one location. You'll be like, wow, we're taking a lot of damage from behind. And then you'll realize, oh, they probably have flanked us. And sure enough, you turn around, you'll see a ton of raiders or any enemies just like set up behind you. So be spatially aware, guys. No matter what you're doing, what you're playing, always be taking a quick darting glance in each location so you make sure you can get on top of those shitty situations before they happen. There are so many times in this game when like an entire team of awesome players can get dropped because they just weren't paying attention to what was going on behind them. You know what I mean? So yeah, just keep in mind, guys, if you're lancing, be sure that your kill is not far. A kill is around the corner from that lance or shortly after that lance, because you are draining your shield, and getting a kill is going to give you a little bit of your shield back. So that's the way to play, guys. I do want to say something. It's when I first did my analysis of this character, and I was looking at the character tree for the first time, I was discussing with you guys what I thought would be good, what I think, just my predictions. I made the comment that this is not going to be like the Fury of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, because that character was so fast-paced, because she could just spam throw nonstop. And I have to backtrack on that statement a little bit, because I was a little bit wrong. Because with this, setting up with Lance and a Lance build that I've shown you, you will pretty much be playing like a Fury for Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Because look at this. Look at how many enemies I'm going to need to kill in such a short period of time. It's insanity. I would say the Fury was a little more survivable than this chick. That's what I would say. But other than that, I mean, think about it. Throw had a slow reach. I mean, it had a very fast recharge time, but it was a recharge time nonetheless. On this chick with the Lance setup, you have 0 recharge time. It's as your shields permit. That's how much you can fire off Lance. That's how often you're going to be getting combos. So this character plays very similar to the Fury if you do a Lance build. In all honesty, it's actually not a whole lot different. The only big difference is you're not putting out nearly as much damage as a Fury put out in Mass Effect 3. One thing you got to keep in mind, guys, I have awesome teammates backing me up that are doing great damage and debuffs of their own. So I'm able to play a little bit more crazy than I would normally. Oh, just look at this insanity up here. And with the guy's shield boosting and everything. I mean, it's just, so if you want to relive the glory days of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, of playing as a Fury and just being the ultimate goddess, you know, just playing as a Fury non-stop body combos and just getting your shield, just absolute destruction. Can you do that? Yes, you can do it. Close, not as good as that. But if you have good teammates, it's going to make it almost on that level, which is the good news. So if you're not having a lot of fun in the game, and I'm not saying that this is, you know, the solution to this game. This game needs quite a bit of buffs and balancing and a lot of reworking in many departments. But a short-term solution, and just a solution in general, because it was the same way in Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I cannot stress enough how fun it is to run around with teammates that A, know what they're doing, B, have mics, and C, having a team strategy. Not just running in there saying, I want to play this, I want to play that, like running in there and like saying, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, we spend a lot of time before the game strategizing what we want to do. We spend a lot of time during the game strategizing what we want to do. Because it ends up being a more fun, smooth game if you do that. And it's a lot of fun synergizing. So yeah, the ASARI Adept. Why do I talk about this so much on an ASARI Adept video? Because she's kind of the queen of, she's kind of the glue that holds a lot of these different characters together in this game. Because with her, you know, just all the things we've discussed in this gameplay, she's just such a great, not only is she a great individual slayer, she's a great team player. So that's the great thing about the ASARI Adept, guys. Here, look at how fast we're going to be fucking up these armored targets. I mean, it's just not even funny. I mean, some people would have looked at it and been like, oh, time to rock it, but we're just like, time to debuff and time to fuck shit up, because that's what the ASARI Adept is. Here the Atlas can get right behind us, fuck this up. Look at this. How does a fucking fat-ass Atlas like that sneak up behind it? It's crazy. But, yeah, guys, I think I will say, if you're on Xbox, absolutely hit me up. I'm down to play with anybody. I play with so many of my subs, and I'd love to play with all of my subs whenever. I don't care what your skill level is. Definitely just shoot me a message on live, add me. I'm down to play with whoever. Anything else to say about the ASARI Adept? I mean, do I need to say much? You just gotta fucking, it's a character that's easy to play and will take a little bit of time to master, I would say, because you do need to learn some of the nuances of when is the time to shoot, when is the time to throw, when is it the time to lance, when is the time to attack, when is the time to retreat. These are all kind of things you need to learn. Use the shit out of her dodge, though, because her dodge is so good. She gets a very fast, effective dodge, so it's going to help you get into good situations. It's going to help you close distance, and it's going to help you get out of bad situations. Look at this. Look at this destruction, guys. I mean, such a fun character. I will say probably the best caster. I can pretty much say best caster in the game. Yeah, guys. I'm using cryo rounds in this game. I wish I would have been using disruptors or even incendiaries. Incendiaries would have been the best, but you know, you can do. The reason why I did this is because she does not depend on the ammo, guys. She can just slay with whatever. Look at the score there. It's going to be insane. I'll show you again at the end, but insane. Insanity. Yeah, guys, use your gun to get kills. Now, throwing is a great combo detonator, too. I recommend using that when you know, obviously, the enemy is going to get thrown off the fucking map, because that's a great time to use throw. Remember that Lance is using up your shield, so there's going to be occasions when it's best to use throw. There's going to be occasions when it's best to use your gun as the detonator instead of draining some of your shield. But you'll learn as you play, guys. Be sure to rate, like, comment, subscribe if you did enjoy this, and stay tuned. Have an awesome day.